Hi families. I've made this video a few times now. I don't know why I'm having one of those days where the phone will ring or the dog will bark, or then I finished one that was pretty good and I found that there was no sound. So we're doing it again. I will try to maintain my enthusiasm for you because today it's really pretty an exciting topic. I'm going to be like cracking the door open for you to enter whole new area of ASL that you haven't really had the opportunity to take advantage of yet. And one of the reasons, well, first, let me tell you what it's called. It's called, they are called classifiers. Okay, let's practice that with your finger spelling. That's good practice. Classifiers. All right, maybe take a minute, practice that one or two times. Classifiers in American Sign Language is one of the most powerful, what is it? It's not a word, it's not a strategy. It's one of ASL's most powerful tools, okay? And it's unique in that it doesn't really happen in any other language. So as we go into this today, you might feel one of two things. You might feel excited and powerful because this is going to give you a whole bunch of flexibility. You're going to be able to communicate and talk about a whole lot of different ideas that before maybe you'd be stuck or you couldn't communicate it clearly because you did not have the vocabulary. Now the vocabulary piece is going to kind of get set aside, and yeah, I mean, it means that you're going to have a lot more flexibility than you had before. And I'm hoping that you will feel as powerful as I felt when I started learning about classifiers. So, one area in which classifiers are really, really helpful, really beneficial is reading. And it's probably been mentioned in past videos. I've done enough of them now that I'm starting to forget a lot of what I've talked about. But reading with deaf children is one area in which you can make a humongous difference in your child's life. Now, I mean, the research is really clear. We know that parents who read with their hearing children, those children tend to be very successful readers themselves. And we know that deaf children who have parents who read books with them, they also tend to be very successful readers. But as all of you know from your experience, this is harder for parents with deaf and hard of hearing deaf and or hard of hearing children. Sometimes my mouth, it doesn't work so well. Because maybe if you've really, you've picked a really simple book, lots of pictures, and you're ready to go. So first you're getting the book out and you've got it set out and you're ready to read, and the book might keep closing up on you because your hands are not free, you're not holding the book. Or maybe it's hard for you to keep the book in a place where your child can see the pictures and the words at the same time that you're signing. So, I think maybe it'd be worth taking just a minute to talk about that. So, I've been a, what was I called? I was like a boss. I was a leader. I was a hero. No, I wasn't a hero. I was a, what was I called? I was a, I can't remember. I was a program leader or a guide or something for a program called the Shared Reading Project. And I just wasted like a minute of your time like trying to figure out what I wanted to say there. But anyway, I was a huge supporter and a really big believer of this program because it sent deaf adults into the homes of parents and taught the parents how to read different books. And then they would loan those books and they would loan videos that the parents could watch how they could sign the books in ASL. That program it's weak now compared to how it used to be. There's not the same support from Gallaudet University that used to be there. And there's still programs out there that are doing it, but it's not as common as I would like it to be. So, parents trying to do this on their own without any help, maybe they read the first sentence. It's a simple sentence. They read the first one, they're successful. The second sentence, they read it. And the third sentence, they're feeling good, and then, pow, they hit a word that they don't know, and they're stuck. They don't know what to do. They can't explain the story. and sometimes they feel like they give up. There's no clear way forward for the parents or the children. So I'm not doing a good job of explaining this, but what I'm trying to express to you is that reading books to deaf children is very, 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 very important and very, very, very difficult for parents of deaf and hard of hearing children, especially hearing parents. So this is one of these tools. I'm going to introduce you to the first classifier. We're going to use this index finger. I hear my cat coming. It's funny how they all come out of the woodwork when I do a video. All right, I had to do a big edit there. I had all kinds of cat business happening all of a sudden, and I didn't want to waste your time. I know you like my cats too, but sometimes it can be too much. So Cat wanted to get into the room and then hopped back and forth and then came up on the couch, wanted to come down onto my lap. I said, not a good time. Anyway, let's get started. So this is a classifier. This is a classifier for a person. Now, it's about this high. It kind of reminds me, looking back, of my Star Wars action figures, because you kind of use it in the same way. You're playing around with it. You're making it move. Sorry, I lost my video again. Making it move around. You're making it do things. You can play with it. You can show how it moves. You can show how fast it goes. You can show kind of what it looks like, if it's young or old or happy or sad, or a lot with just this finger. All right. So we're going to start with something pretty simple today. We're going to use this classifier hand. And we're going to represent just walking, like a stroll, like a casual, pleasant walk. So index finger out, palm out, and then as you move it forward, you're going to swing your wrist back and forth a little bit. Not a lot. You don't want it, okay, it looks like a metronome. It's too much. But just a little gentle swaying motion as it goes. So from the side, the motion will look like this as it goes forward. Okay? So this is like going for a stroll. And sometimes the facial expression will kind of add more information to that. So eyebrows are kind of up. You feel all's right in the world. Just going for a walk. Maybe a friend wants to join them so they could go together. Or you can do 2 on the same hand. Okay? Or 3 or 4 or 5. I'll add that information later, right at the end. But right now we'll stick with just the single index finger. The single index finger can also, okay, it can walk like this. It can bend a little bit to show someone who is tired or very old or, for whatever, maybe depressed. For whatever reason, they're not standing up straight. They're kind of slouching. So they might go along like this. It's not bent all the way, but it's been about, this is half, and that's like a quarter. Okay, so it comes along. Your face has to tell the story too, so it can be kind of sad, or it can be very old. I don't know why I think old people do that, but just some kind of like a, kind of walking along. Or I saw an interesting way to use this classifier at a conference just recently that I didn't know before, that you can bend it like this to show running, which I thought was like, oh, that's cool, I want to use that. So you can have, just by bend, it just wiggles as it goes. Run, okay? And you could have 2 of them running, and one could get faster than the other, and the other could pass, and the other falls behind, and so you could do like a race that way. You could show, 2 people running, one on each hand. You could have your classifier person go upstairs and then maybe slip and fall all the way back down. Or they could jump up and down on a trampoline. Or they could be really excited and they could just jump up and down because they're excited. And if you have a whole group of kids that you just told you're going to go to the store and buy pizza and get a movie, then they might all go, yay! They might all be jumping up and down together, okay, because they're very excited. So back to this one finger, we can do, what else? Let me think of at least one more example. Oh, here's a good one. Like if there's a fire alarm or something scares, they can be, ah! ah, they can run like this, like they're terrified. Ah. Okay, so there's so many different ways that you can use this, and I kind of wanted to see what your imagination might come up with. Ideas for using this classifier, the index finger, you know, how you can make him walk or make him run, or you can make him kind of go along slow or go upstairs or go downstairs, or what can you think of? It is, the possibilities are really limited only by your imagination. I said that in a very English way, but you get the idea. So, as I said, we'll kind of add that information right now at the end about more fingers, okay? So we have one finger, one person. Two people can walk along together. Three, you even use the thumb, like this dude's like sticking out to the side, but still, it still is, it follows the rules of the language. So you can have three people walking together. You can have three people jumping up and down. You have three people going up the stairs together. You can have four people. You can have five people. You can have five people. You have five people dancing together. You can have one person kind of waltzing and the hands turn as you go. Waltzing and dancing. You can have three people, or you know, there's so many different ways. Five people working together like a line dance. Or people can line up. Like when you say like the signs for like lining up at school, like I tell my kids, hey, it's time to line up, we're going to lunch. Then I'll sign this, which gets my thumbs, it's the forehands because my thumbs are in the way, otherwise they kind of get in the way when you do it. If you put your thumbs down, then you can show here's a line of people, and the line goes back. It shows many, many, many people in a straight line. Or you can have people lined up like this on a wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. There might be more than 8 people, but that movement shows that there are more than 8 people. It shows that this kind of a configuration of people stretches across a line or a wall. Okay? That's a fair amount, and it's just an introduction right now. I'm not trying to, I'm trying to give you kind of a little introduction to one that's really easy to use. And you can practice with it, and you can look for opportunities that you can use it when you're reading to your child, or you're telling stories, or you're explaining something that happened, or they hear like a loud noise and they say, what happened? And you say, your sister was on the bed and she was jumping up and down and she fell off. Now you have that power because you can use the classifiers to do it. So we'll start with just this one today, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, however many people there are. And then we will add some new ones in the next video. We'll do like cars and animals and some different things we can add to our stories when we are sharing them with our kids. So I'm hoping that this was a helpful video. Again, I always appreciate feedback. Let me know if this was clear or you need more practice or more time or more in-depth explanation. That will help me decide what I need to do for the next video to help you the most. So I feel like I'm kind of rambling on now, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it to a close. And my power to you. I hope that your family is doing well, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.